This is the last piece of this whole risk assessment course. I want to conclude with the topic of implementing risk controls. Remember where we started. We listed the obligations, and we said that there's a legal obligation on you to provide safe systems of work, to identify all the hazards, put control measures in place, and enabling people that are on your site or in your operations may be affected by your operations, that they can apply the controls and keep themselves and other people safe. The whole purpose of risk management, that is the process of identifying the hazards, evaluating them, analyzing them, putting controls in place, communicating about the hazards, monitoring and evaluating the effectiveness of them. The whole idea is to keep people and assets safe, is to prevent harm. The controls that you have developed must be effective to reduce the likelihood of an event or to reduce the severity of the event. If those controls are not doing that, then those controls are wasting your time and money. You might as well not do anything. A piece of paper, inspection lists, talks, toolbox talks mean nothing if we don't enforce operational discipline, if we don't have good plans, if we don't live up to the spirit of the Occupational Health and Safety Act so that everybody can come to work and go home in the afternoon healthy and safe. If you are just going to window dress, doing checklists, wearing PPE, having toolbox talks, but out in the field, you don't apply risk reduction measures, what is going to happen is that the controls will cost you money. And when the incident happens, you will still be surprised and you will still pay the cost of bad risk management. What do I need to properly implement my risk controls? The first thing that I require, I need proper rules, guidelines, procedures to help people to work safely. Secondly, they need the proper tools and equipment so that they can follow the rules and the guidelines that we are laying down. Thirdly, they need training in the use of the tools and the equipment and working in the environment so that they can apply the tools and equipment that they have according to the good rules, guidelines, and procedures that we have put in place. And the last thing is that you need to enforce these rules and you need to maintain operational discipline. Not just when people are looking, but we need to change the behavior through behavior observation, through stimulus, through operational discipline, that people follow the rules for their benefit and not just because somebody is looking at them. The acid test, the final test. There's this thing, if you want to buy a diamond, people can sell you glass or they can sell you a diamond. Now there's an acid called phosphoric acid, and phosphoric eats up glass, phosphoric acid. So the acid test here is to put what you think is a diamond or glass in the acid, and the diamonds will survive and the glass will be etched, dull and gone. So the acid test, the diamond test for your control measures will be the risk reduction. So if I just have a lot of papers in my safety file, or I do a lot of meetings, or I do a lot of inspections, but we never implement whatever we said that we are going to do, and we never reduce the risk, I do not have a functional risk management system. The question is the risk rating that I give myself after I have considered my controls and my control effectiveness. Is it true? Is it honest? Or am I just trying to fool myself? When you pass this course, when you've completed this course, you will have the skills on the process to go and identify the hazards, find out or predict the incidents, determine which are the more dangerous hazards and the less dangerous hazards. You'll be able to go and find out what the control measures are that you can implement, and you will be able to implement them. You will not necessarily have all the knowledge about all the hazards that you may encounter. And therefore, you need to keep on learning, you need to keep on researching, you need to keep on finding out about the hazards that are in your workplace and that you will encounter and that your people or the affected parties will get exposed to. The secret for risk management is learning, 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 and continuously improving. You will have a risk assessment at the beginning, and then you will find you either missed something, or you underestimated a risk, or your controls that you implemented are not good enough. Then what you do is you find out during inspections, audits, walkabouts, and as you find out, you go back to those hazards and you improve the controls. You improve your knowledge. And so your safety performance and your risk management will improve over time. How will you know whether your risk assessment is good enough? People will come and visit you and they will assess your risk assessments in the field. And we will evaluate the quality of the risk assessments that you have in place and the knowledge of these hazards in your teams and the controls and the effectiveness of the controls. Good luck with your risk assessments. It's now up to you to review your risk assessments and make them as good and as complete as possible for the benefit of your organization.